Welcome back to the show. Can you guys imagine Conor McGregor versus Anderson Silva in a UFC super fight? Well, you might not have to imagine it because Anderson Silva has called for it and Conor McGregor has accepted. And now the only hurdle that stands in the way is Dana White and the UFC. Let me explain. So earlier this week, Conor McGregor went on a social media tear where he was trying to identify the greatest UFC fighter of all time. He did not pick John Jones. He did not pick George St. Pierre. He did not pick Amanda Nunes, even though all three have incredible arguments, as well as Henry Cejudo, by the way, and even Daniel Cormier. Those people did not make the number one or number two spot. Conor McGregor says the number one spot belongs to Anderson Silva, who was a monster when he was at the top of his game. I mean, he really was. He transformed the sport. He was so athletic and powerful and dangerous and creative and charismatic. I mean, incredible athlete to watch. And then he named himself the number two athlete of all time, which is ridiculous because while he is talented, I believe he has a grand total of 0 title defenses to his credit. So it's impossible to say you're the greatest when you have 0 title defenses. But whatever. The fact of the matter is he called Anderson Silva the greatest UFC fighter of all time. Anderson Silva then went to social media, flattered, and said this, quote, "I have immense admiration for the great athlete that Conor is, and I believe that a super fight would go down in the history of the sport. Neither of us need to prove anything to anyone. I believe the fans of the UFC and the sport would like to watch this great martial arts spectacle. It would be fantastic to test my martial arts skills against him." He proposed that they meet at a catch weight of 176 pounds, and Conor McGregor saw that, and he said, "Yup, I accept." Question is, do you think that Anderson Silva and Conor McGregor will get their wish? Do you think that the UFC will actually put this fight together? Or do you think that Dana White will go a different direction?
No, that's a short answer for you.
Yeah.
How many times has Conor McGregor fought in the last, 3 years? Like twice?
Like a handful, yeah.
A handful. So it's very frustrating. I'm very frustrated by sometimes these boxers and UFC guys. It's all talk, it's all tweets, it's all Instagram. There's not a lot of in the octagon, in the ring, especially for someone like Conor, McGregor.
I would watch any fight involving Conor McGregor because I think he's electric. I would rather see him fight Khabib or Gaethje.
Look, it's important for the divisions for Dana White to give Conor a real opponent instead of these out there fights. Like there are people that are trying to move up in the rankings, that are trying to get title shots.
We're in 2020. I don't think that the divisions or even the belt matter that much anymore. I think it's all about guys making a lot of money and being part of a big event. I think that is.
You want super fights.
Yeah, I don't think the belts matter much anymore.
It matters to the fighters. It matters to the fighters, and I'll tell you why. It matters to the fighters, number one, for paychecks because they get paid more if they have a belt. And number two, you work your whole life. When you're a fighter, I talked to Tyron Woodley a lot about this. You work toward that goal. And when he lost his belt to Kamaru Usman, that crushed him. And he thinks about it every day.
Do you think Tyron would rather, maybe I'm wrong about this, I think Tyron would rather a fight against Conor McGregor than a rematch against Kamaru Usman with a chance to win his belt back?
I think right now, Tyron would rather fight Kamaru Usman than Conor McGregor. I think that he wants to show people that he is the greatest welterweight of all time.
Right. So there's actually more on the line. So that's probably a bad example that I gave, but
that's right.
But I don't know. I think we should ask. I think we should ask Tyron, and then we should.
I think you should.
Tomorrow.
I think he would want to fight Conor McGregor because that's double your money, right?
Tyron is fighting Gilbert Burns on Saturday, so I'm
excited for that. By the way,
fight first, and then we can ask him if he wants Conor.
Okay.
Gilbert Burns does not sound like an MMA fighter.
He's a bad dude, though. He can fight.
I know he can, but this is the name.